How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Eric and this is my garage. Now in today's video I'm going to try to fit a G37 exhaust on my 2003 Infiniti G35. Now on the forums online it does say that the G37 exhaust is smaller compared to the G35 as far as like the diameter goes. But this is an aftermarket exhaust that I have off of the G37. This is actually a Stillen exhaust system. The one that I have on my G35 coupe is a HKS rep, which the diameter on that piping is around 225 to 2.5. On the Stillen exhaust off of the G37, it's around the same. Without any further ado though, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So what I have right here is the exhaust off of the G37 coupe. My brother actually ended up giving me this exhaust, and from what it looks like, this is a Stillen exhaust with a muffler delete. I think this is going to give me a lot more raspiness compared to the one that I have, but it does show online that this has better exhaust flow and it gives you more horsepower. In order to make this work, you do need to get a G37 rear sway bar that has the two humps. If you guys are not familiar, our vehicles only have one hump, so this is essential to make this work. Another reason why I'm doing this swap is because the current exhaust that I have right now is melting away my rear bumper on my vehicle, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and hopefully the one that I installed doesn't have this issue. I did try to correct this by removing the exhaust on the Infiniti G35, but it looks like every time I remove it, it lines up exactly the same way. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and go underneath and remove the exhaust on the G35. In order to remove the mufflers out of the vehicle, all you have to do at this point is just remove them from the hangers. Once you do that, they should drop down. So we're just getting some WD-40 to lubricate the hangers right here on the muffler. We are also going to do the same thing on the other side, so go ahead and add some WD-40 and just repeat the same process. Now that I got the muffler out, you guys can take a close look at the damage that it caused to the bumper. So we're gonna have to find a way to cover this up because it doesn't look very nice. So I finally got the exhaust out of the vehicle. So this is an HKS rep exhaust. So it is like kind of like a true dual. In front of me, I have the HKS Rep exhaust off of the G35. So this exhaust is about a 2.5 inch diameter on the actual piping. So like I was saying, this pipe on this exhaust seems to be a little bit bigger compared to the Stillen exhaust. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on just to see if it will fit. Also, I wanted to see how the exhaust sounded, kind of with like a muffler delete. If it doesn't sound good, I'm probably gonna end up putting this one back on or trying to fix this one to make it sound nicer. So this in theory should bolt up if we change the rear sway bar. So let's go ahead and do that next. In front of me, I have the rear G35 sway bar. So like I said, this only has one hump right here on the left hand side, and we need the one that has two. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this one and install the G37 one. So we're gonna first start off by removing the sway bar end link. So this right here is a 14mm fastener. Go ahead and do the same thing on this side as well. Now you can go ahead and remove these two 14mm nuts holding down the bracket to the rear subframe. Go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. Once you remove these fasteners, the rear sway bar should just come off. In front of me, I have the two sway bars side by side. So on the top, it's the G37 coupe sway bar, and on the bottom is the stock G35 sway bar. So right off the bat, you guys can see that the G37 coupe sway bar is a lot thicker compared to the G35. Also, you guys can see that this one has the two humps and this one just has one. Now for this, you do probably need to swap over your brackets. So right here, I don't think these guys are the same, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a nice little upgrade to have a thicker sway bar in the rear. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this on the vehicle. So I did run into a little roadblock installing the rear sway bar. So the main issue right here that I'm having is these brackets. So the G37 bracket doesn't have the little cutout right here so that you guys can adjust. So I'm gonna try to see if I can use the G35 coupe rear brackets right here. If not, I'm just going to have to just cut this right here so that it can fit. But other than that, I think it should line up perfectly. So we'll go ahead and get this figured out and then install this on the vehicle. So what I ended up doing to make these brackets fit was to make the hole bigger on the G37 brackets. You actually don't need to cut these like how I did right here. I was just trying to match the bracket that I had on the G35, but it's not necessary to do this. All you have to do is just make one of the holes bigger, like how I did it here. This isn't pretty by any means, but it's gonna work. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on the vehicle and put the sway bar on. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, I did mount the G37 rear sway bar onto the G35. With me modifying those brackets, it allowed me to fit this properly onto the vehicle. And as you guys can see, it's not fouling on anything, and it's perfectly clear of any other metal parts, so there's not going to be any rattle. I'm very excited to try on the exhaust and to see how this rear sway bar performs on the vehicle. As I mentioned before, it is thicker, so I'm hoping that it, stiffens up the rear end. We're gonna go ahead and finish installing the white pipe, and then we're gonna go ahead and install the rest of the G37 exhaust onto the G35. The G37 exhaust was rubbing on the bracket, so I added a second support So as you guys can see here, I have two brackets basically, and then I have two hangers. Alright guys, so I did go ahead and finish putting the G37 exhaust on the G35. As you guys can see, we have the two humps and we have the Stillen exhaust. Now as far as the fitment goes, it did fit in there pretty good. The only thing is that this muffler right here kind of sticks out a little bit more compared to this one right here, but a little bit of messing around with the brackets and all that could fix that. But for now, that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. Stay tuned for a little exhaust comparison at the end. This is pretty much going to wrap up the end of the video. As far as the exhaust goes, I think it's a little too loud for my personal liking, but it does sound kind of nice. It is a little raspy. Hopefully if I can maybe source a good resonator or some other solution to kind of resonate all that raspiness, then I think it'll make it into a pretty decent exhaust. But as far as, like, you know, the vehicle, how it performs and everything, I can't really tell any difference. My butt dyno is kind of weak right now, so like I said, I couldn't tell anything. You know, I couldn't tell a difference like in performance or anything like that. You got to find a way to justify that you spent money on a part. So I didn't really spend much on this exhaust, so like I said, you know, I kind of stole it from my brother, so I can't really say that I feel any improvements in the horsepower. Enough of me rambling. I hope you guys did like this video. If you guys did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.